Welcome to another exciting and entertaining session. Today we are learning about adaptations in plants. What is an adaptation? Adaptation means the process in which plants survive in different conditions is called which adapt to the environment is called an adaptation. Plants have some characteristics that survive in extreme conditions. So, based on this, plants are divided into two types. Terrestrial plants, aquatic plants. So, terrestrial plants and aquatic plants. What are terrestrial plants? The plants that live on land are called terrestrial plants. The plants that live on land, that survive on land, are called terrestrial plants. In the terrestrial plants, how the plants adapt to the environment according to the in different conditions, how they adapt. What are the adaptations? They have strong roots. So these terrestrial plants, they have strong roots. These strong roots fix firmly in the soil even in extreme conditions also. And they have strong stems that supports the plant body. A plant has strong stem, it supports the plant body. And they have broad leaves that they help in photosynthesis. So terrestrial plants have these three characteristics. What are these? What are the adaptations of terrestrial plants? They have strong roots that fix firmly in the soil. They have strong stems that supports the plant body, and they have broad leaves that help in photosynthesis. So what are the plants? Examples: neem, mango, banyan. So these type of plants are called terrestrial plants. So let us study how the plants survive in mountain areas and hill areas. Plants in mountains and hills. So what are the problems in mountains and hill areas? So what are the problems we see in the mountain and hill areas? In these areas, they have very cold climate. The climate of the plants, the climate in the mountains and hill areas are very cold. Due to that cold climate, the plants face some problems in that cold climate. and the rain heavy snowfall. They have very heavy snowfall, and they have very strong winds. They have very strong winds. What are the problems that face in mountain and hill areas? Very cold climate, they have heavy snowfall, and they have strong winds. So, very cold climate in the mountain and hill areas, heavy snowfall in the mountains and hill areas, and strong winds in mountain and hill areas. So, what are the adaptations? So, what are the adaptations? They have cone shaped trees. The trees are cone shaped. When the trees are in cone shape, the snow when it falls on the leaves, it slides off. So they have needle-like leaves. These needle-like leaves help to reduce water loss. They have thick bark. This thick bark protects from cold. So a plant is protected from cold by thick bark. What are the examples? Pine, fir, deodar. So plants in mountains and hill areas, they are very cold climate. They face very cold climate. They have heavy snowfall, and they have strong winds. So what are the adaptations? Cone shaped trees, so the snow slides off easily. Needle like leaves reduce water loss, and they have thick bark that protects from cold. What are the examples? Pine, fir, and deodar. So, plants in desert area. In the plants in this habitat, they have very hot temperature. In desert areas, the temperature is very hot and very little water for the plants. So, how they adapt to the environment? Leaves change into spines. So, leaves change into spines. Why? Because they reduce the water loss. Thick green stem. They have very thick green stem in desert area plants that stores the water. They have very long roots that absorb water from the deep soil. So, what are the examples of plants that live in desert areas? Yes, cactus and pine, palm, date. Cactus, palm, date. So let's revise. Plants in desert areas. The problems in this habitat, they have very hot temperature and very little water. How they adapt to the environment? Leaves change into spines, and the stem, the thick green stem stores water. They have very long roots that absorb water from the deep soil. What are the examples? Cactus, palm, date plants. They live in the desert areas. We can find these plants in desert. Plants in plains. Sorry. What are the conditions? Let's study about plants in plain. In plain areas, how are the plants? How they adapt? So, what are the conditions they live? Moderate temperature. So, in plain areas, the temperature is very moderate and they have good rainfall and they have fertile soil. So, in these areas, in plain areas, the temperature is moderate, they have fertile soil and they have very good rainfall. So, what are the plants? How they adapt to the environment? They have broad leaves that absorb the sunlight. These plants, the plants in the plain areas have broad leaves that absorb the sunlight. They have strong branches that spread widely and well developed root system. So, what are the adaptations? They have broad leaves for absorption of sunlight. They have strong branches that spread widely and they have well developed root system. So, in the plain areas, the temperature is very moderate, the soil is fertile, they have good rainfall. How they adapt to the environment? They have broad leaves that absorb the sunlight and they have strong branches that spread widely. They have well developed root system. What are the examples of the plants? Neem, mango. So these plants have live in plain areas. So plants in coastal areas. So now plants in coastal areas. What are the problems in coastal areas? Strong winds, sandy soil, salty water. So in the coastal areas, what are the problems that plants face? They have strong winds and the soil is very sandy and they have salty water. So these are the problems we see in the coastal areas. And what are the adaptations? Flexible. Their the trunk is very flexible and it bends according to the wind. And they have long fibrous root system that holds the sand firmly. Long fibrous root system. So I told you about the root system, tap root system and fibrous root system. In coastal areas, they have long fibrous root system and it holds the soil, sand, not soil, it holds the sand firmly. So in these areas, leaves prevent water loss. So the plants which have leaves that these prevent water loss. What are the examples? Coconut, palm. So plants in coastal areas. In coastal areas, what are the problems that plants face? They have strong winds, sandy soil, and salty water. What are the adaptations? They have flexible trunk, long fibrous root system that holds the sand firmly in the sand. Leaves prevent water loss. So these plants have leaves that prevent water loss. Example, coconut tree, palm tree. So next is plants in marshy or swampy areas. Marshy or swampy areas. Problems. So what are the problems in these areas? They have waterlogged soil. Waterlogged soil and very less oxygen in soil. So what are the problems? Waterlogged soil means they have more water in the soil and very less oxygen in the soil. Adaptations. They have breathing roots that come above the soil. Breathing roots means aerial roots. These aerial roots come above the soil and roots absorb oxygen from air, not soil. The roots absorb oxygen from air. From air. So, what are the adaptations in marshy and swampy areas? They have breathing roots that come above the soil and they absorb oxygen from the air. This is about some terrestrial plants, how they adapt in mountain and hill areas, and how they adapt in desert areas, in plains, and in coastal areas, and in marshy and swampy areas. So, here is a trick to remember how the plants in different regions. So, in mountain areas, needle-like leaves. Desert areas, pines, thick leaves. So, here is an easy trick to remember. In mountain areas, needle-like leaves, and desert areas, spines. Leaves change into spines and they have thick leaves. And plains, they have broad leaves. Coastal areas, they have flexible trunk that bend according to the wind. Swampy areas, they have breathing roots. Easy to remember. This in this area, in this from this topic, you'll get important questions in Olympia.